May I now invite Dr. Lakshman, the chairman of the and good Max, to come up to the stage to write the
ಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಝೂಮ್ ಇನ್ ಝೂಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಝೂಮ್ ಇನ್
ಓಂ ಬೋಧಿಪದೇ ರೂಪತ್ವಂ ಕರ್ಮಸಾಕ್ಷಿ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಕೃತ ಯಾವತ್ತೈವ ಸಮಾಪ್ತಿ ಸ್ಯಾತ್ ತಾವತ್ತ್ವಂ ಸುಸ್ಥಿರಾ ಭವ ದೀಪಮಹಾಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ನಮಃ ಸಕಾಲಾಕ್ಷಮೈಃ ಸ್ವರ್ಚಿತಂ ಓಂ.
Now I invite Council General as well as MP IAG to come up and make their remarks.
उद्दीप्यस्वजातवेदो उग्रं निर्वृतिं मम
Sri Ramesh Chotai, Sri Satish Thakkar, Professor Kumar Murthy, Sri Sukumar Ganesan, and Ms. Deepika and Sri Vijay Sapani and Mr. Vijay Shastri. I will not steal the thunder of the authors by describing the book in detail and the genesis of this title. I would instead invite the chair of Sringeri Vidya Bharati Foundation and a co-author of the book to make the welcoming remarks. I request include Officer of the Order of Canada, Honorary Doctor of Laws from the University of Gulf, and Parvasi Bharatiya Samaj Vidya Bharati Foundation, Toronto, as well as the past chair of Canada India Foundation, Dr. Lakshmana.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. With the blessings of His Holiness Mahasanidhanam Tirtha Swamiji, His Holiness Sanidhanam Bhadreshdas Swamiji, and Mahan Swamiji, the three co-authors, Bhadreshdas Swamiji and my Kanishta brother, Kalyana Sundaram, and I took the journey to write the book, Experience, Synthesis of Spirituality and Science, to bring in peace and prosperity. I'll just share some thoughts, how it all happened. The thought originally came to the beautiful mind of a Guru, Guru Bhadreshdas Swamiji. As many of you know here, Sringeri Vidya Bharati Foundation, SVBF, and BAPS, Swaminarayan Mandir here, we have a phenomenal relationship to promote our Sanatana Dharma closely. This morning we had Jnanapriya Swamiji here along with Gunsagar Swamiji participating in our Rudra Homa and Maharudram. That clearly emphasizes the relationship, the deep relationship the two institutions promoting the cause of Sanatana Dharma in this great city, Toronto, in the great country we call Canada, God's country. Even when we celebrated Kumbhabhisheka, Jnanapriya Swamiji was very generous in his thoughts to share Punyatirtha from all nadis in India and all the oceans here. That was about, in 2010. Friends, that relationship continues, and BAPS Gurus there, and SVBF, BAPS Gurus inform us of events happening and Guruji is coming. Gunsagar Swamiji in June 2022 informed me of a great Guruji coming here to the great city we call Toronto, Bhadreshdas Swamiji. Then as a little child, well, I'm 84 years old, requested Swamiji to help us bring him here in this place, Sringeri Vidya Bharati Foundation, Canada, for us to share his thoughts on spirituality. In this very hall, in June 2022, Bhadreshdas Swamiji came along with Gunsagar Swamiji and Nityavivek Swamiji. And of course, Naresh Bhai was there. And Bhadreshdas Swamiji gave an eloquent pravachan on spirituality. We had question answers and all that. After finishing his pravachan, Swamiji asked whether I could spend a few minutes with him in this corner where we're all sitting. It took me aside and he said, for the past 2 years, I've been looking around to write a book, and I wanted to write, I was looking for a co-author to write this book. For me, it was Agya from a Guruji. So when that Agya came, I agreed to work with him, and initially I thought it was going to be on spirituality. Swamiji and I had several discussions after that. Was in 2023 January, I was in Ahmedabad celebrating centenary celebrations of Pramukh Swami Maharaj. You know, BAFs, they only do it meticulously, well planned, very nicely organized. Nityavivek Swamiji was there. And it is a privilege to work with BAFs, Swamiji's gurus. There, on that day, it was January 8th, 2023. So we were there in the podium, and Bhadreshdas Swamiji immediately took me aside. Shall we have more discussions? So we had discussions about the book, how to structure it, what to. So at that time, the thought came that in 2015, many of you may know, an amazing book was written by late President Kalam, a great friend of ours who has come to this place a few times. He wrote a book on transcendence, my spiritual journey with Pramukh Swami Maharaj. That was an amazing book. And in that book, friends, Kalam Sahib, he quotes, Vajpayee Sahib, the previous Prime Minister of India, late Prime Minister Vajpayee Sahib, asked Kalam, he was the principal scientific advisor to the Prime Minister, he asked him to plan how to make India a developed country by 2020. So Kalam Sahib worked with professors, researchers, business people, and civil servants. He wrote that book. Not a book, he prepared that planning document to make India as a developed country by 2020. Having written it, he was wondering how to make it happen. So he went to Pramukh Swami Maharaj, and to Swamiji he asked the question, Swamiji, here with the Agya from Prime Minister Sahib, Vajpayee Sahib, I have prepared this document to make India a developed country. Swamiji, kindly give me your blessing and advice. What should I be doing? Swamiji, in his generosity, through his wealth of knowledge and experience, he said, Kalam Sahib, look for spiritually minded people to carry your plan and to make it happen. Here, Kalam, some may call him missile man, He was a great scientist, looked after ISRO, defense research. He was doing many scientific programs for Government of India. Here is a scientist, a great scientist, working with the Prime Minister of India, coming to Pramukh Swami Maharaj, asking, how can I make this plan happen to make India as a developed country? So here is the spiritual mind and the scientific mind, great two human beings, two great human beings, understanding the need of the country and also to make everyone be prosperous and live in peace. They came with this idea that spiritually minded people working with all these people can make things happen. So when Bhadreshdas Swamiji gave the Ajna, can we be writing a book together? I suggested to him, Swamiji, can we think about writing the book on science and spirituality? Swamiji is such a generous person, a great teacher. He immediately said, yeah, let us do that. Let us do that. Well, I'm only as good as a postman. I took the message. Immediately, I looked for my Kanishta brother, Kalyan Sundaram. I said, can you join us writing this great Ajna from a great Guruji, Bhadreshdas Swamiji? Kalyan, he's an amazing person. He's an amazing person, very, very disciplined. He said, yeah, I'll join you. We had only written a book a couple of years earlier, taking Kalam's idea on Pura. We wrote a book on smart villages, making the rural communities living with peace and prosperity. The word peace and prosperity with Dr. Kalam, I wrote a book about 10, 15 years back. So Kalyan agreed to work with us on this journey. We, in modern days, with the Zoom and other communication methods, we worked very hard from January 23. We are working, and in October 23, there was a major happening in Robbinsville in New Jersey. We had Swaminarayan Mandir Pratishta happening, and Swamiji was there in October. He asked whether I could meet him in Robbinsville. So Kalyan and I went to Robbinsville. We continued with our discussion on this great journey. Swamiji that day, October 2023, he said, previous night, he just thought about something to give peace and prosperity. He said, he coined a new word, synthesizing spirituality with science, bringing the new word, experience. So spirituality and science together, synthesizing experience, for what? Experience for the global citizens to get peace and prosperity. That was a wonderful thought. And Guruji said, can we have this as the title for the book? Oh, we thought it was a great thought. So we both, Kalyan and I, immediately accepted. This was happening in Swaminarayan Mandir in Robbinsville, a great. And Swamiji installing the Swamiji, engineers, scientists, architects, and philosophers, rishis, together installing Swaminarayan Mandir in Robbins Club. So continuously, the thought of writing this book developed. Minds working on different continents. In January, we met again in Ahmedabad. Swamiji asked me to come to Sarangpur. Sarangpur is where sadhus get initiated in Sma. Swamiji said, can we meet in Ahmedabad? You know, Swamiji brought Achardas Swamiji to help us in this journey. And Achardas Swami, amazing person, an American of Indian origin like ourselves, a PhD from England in philosophy, very, very detail-oriented person, amazing. I got to know him more during the last two years working with him. So he joined us writing this book. And we had several conversations, discussions, video messages, accepting the time difference and all that. But the passion was common amongst all the four. But we also put a deadline to ourselves that we wanted the book to be ready for the event that happened today. So all the four of us said, CG Saab, on September 8th, we wanted to keep the book on the lotus feet of Shivji and our gurus. And that is our aim, to make it happen on September 8th with Maharudram here. At the same time, celebrating the 50th anniversary of BAPS movement in North America. So together, two things happening, human beings have their own thoughts, but it is the divine will that it happened this month. It happened this month with Maharudram and Kunkumarchana for Shadamba, and 50th anniversary of BAPS institution in North America this month. That is the reason why this deadline was chosen, September 8th here in Sringeri, September 22nd at BAPS. Today, friends, Swamiji is in Australia. During the last 4 months, we worked between 4 continents. India, and they were in Rome, they were in Italy, and then Achardas Swamiji was in Paris, and Bhadreshdas Swamiji was in Australia. And our project manager, CG Saab, from Telva, the great publisher, he was in Philippines. So we had to, the Zoom and all this other media help us. But they can't help the position of where sun is, where moon is. So we have to accept it. And we worked in different time zones, you believe it or not. But the objective was, we could be talking, Swamiji would be talking to me and Kalyan at 11 o'clock in the night. Here is a guru who, the day when the books were delivered, he called me at 11 o'clock in the night. He was in Australia. He called me, he said, I'm so glad the books are delivered. So, working in all these time zones, we made it happen. It all happened because of blessings from Sharadamba, Guru, Sannidhanam, and Man Swamiji. When you have the blessings of a Guru, when you want anything to happen, always seek the advice of a Guru. You know, you have Mata, Pita, Guru, Devo. So go with a Guru, but he will take care of your needs. And it was a pleasure for me. I worked with a Rajaguru, Abdul Kalam Sahab. He also Guru, a Rajaguru. But then, Guruji's now Bhadreshdas Swamiji, and this old man had the privilege of working with amazing people, these people. Kalam Sahab, and then Bhadreshdas Swamiji. And, you know, I'm 84, still I'm learning. But it is a privilege for me that I had opportunity to work with Kalam Sahab and Bhadreshdas Swamiji. And our Sringeri devotees, they both, Kalam Sahab was here on the stage addressing audience of 500 people. Bhadreshdas Swamiji came here. You can see that how Sringeri, SVBF, is guiding the future youth and young for peace and prosperity. So we worked on that, wrote the book, and the book got delivered last week. And the guy from Perlator was phoning me, I'm just going round and round, where do I go? I called Swamiji, I called Gunsagar Swamiji. He was in Brandon, taking our Sanatana Dharma to all the corners of Canada. He was in Brandon with Nityavek Swamiji. And he said, you know, there's somebody there. I told Perlator, deliver at the door, and the wooden door, go to reception. It was delivered. That night in the night, I had a call from Bhadreshdas Swamiji. Are the books come? Yes, they have arrived. They have arrived. He was continuously following what is happening. But friends, things happen because you have divine help. It's happening through Guruji's, Sharadamba, and you know, keep in mind, have the humility to accept. We can only do so much, but we always need guidance. So the book was written, delivered, but just a couple of words, I won't take too much time. What is in the book? I won't reveal all the details. I'm not saying you have to buy the book, I'm not saying that. There are 3,000 copies coming and delivering. The objective of this book, Satish Bhai, is not the authors making money. No. If I had to make money, I'm 84. I'm still working as a consultant to somebody. I don't know what it's what, but I'm doing. But the message, Gunsagar Swamiji, Naresh Bhai repeatedly said, our intent is for this book to reach the youth, the young minds, give them the value, the message. So the objective here, right from the beginning, we from Sringeri and Babs, we placed order for 3,000 copies. Objective is the young minds, all you guys, read it, not read to put in the shelf, but walk what you read so that you follow that, what is said in the book. So the books, you know, we have got few copies now. Before the end of the year, there will be 3,000 copies coming. And everybody, leave your name with people here and people in Babs, and you'll all get a copy of the book. Our objective is the message to reach spirituality. As Swamiji said to Kalam, find spiritually minded people. We want more spiritually minded people in the world, so there is less problem, less challenges, whether materially or emotionally. The book starts with a chapter, how the idea of experience came, the new word. It's a new English word. All the three authors are Bharat Mata ki beti. And we are coining a new word, that is experience. It is not coming from the queen or king. It is coming from proletariats of people from India. So the experience is the new word. Just the way you are using the word synergy, you will be using the word experience in coming years, writing articles and everything else that's happening. After that chapter, we have a chapter talking about science. Human beings, when you learn hitting two stones to make the fire, that is science. Then having missiles, having space vehicles, going to moon, going to Mars, science has taken it to all places. When, Swamiji, I'm taking too much time, kindly give me a few words. When we started writing the book in 2022, we were slowly coming out of this great pandemic, COVID. But COVID didn't stop, because the human being always can work over the whatever challenge was there. With this great young man, a great leader with spirituality, Satish Thakur, and Kalyan, I don't know anything. Just go to people, make things happen. We organized a major conference on healthcare, and Apurvaji was there. We had nearly 3,000 to 4,000 people attending. Idea was, the COVID came, we had the conference in Zoom, and we had nearly 3,000 to 4,000 people, all eminent people from India in the healthcare. Here is a healthcare challenge. The scientific mind gave us the vaccine. We addressed it, but it's a one-time effort. You don't know what is in store for you next. But the human mind always works with the science. But science alone is not enough. You need spirituality together. So the second section goes on scientific achievements. What did it do? And the third one is spirituality. Spirituality, learning from our Vedic scripts, teachings of Adi Shankara and Swami Narayan, how the mind of human being can reach peace, what we have from our Vedic scriptures, the deep thoughts, insights. Even Swamiji, Adi Shankara, before he died at the age of 32, he walked all over India, did Tarkasastra, talked to people, Jains, Buddhists, all sorts of people. India was going through some challenging time. But here is a spiritual person who could dialogue with others and bring peace to the country. Similarly, Swaminarayan Swamiji, he, after nearly 1,000 years afterwards, he traveled all over India, established institutions, now 1,650 institutions or 1,700 institutions all over the world, basically promoting dharma, spirituality everywhere. He goes to Brandon, Manitoba. Tomorrow he may be somewhere else. But you have gurus like him taking the message, spiritual messages all over. So after the spirituality section, we do the role of human being. Here is my friend Anand. His wife Savita helped us in writing a book. As a family member, spirituality, how it helped one's life. And some others talked about spirituality and science in their own life. Then where do we go from here? We want to emphasize before I close, it's not enough to tell our children we need to have high IQ, intelligent quotient, to buy groceries. But buying groceries is not enough. IBM was big, Intel was big, but things are changing. Shelf life is getting shorter and shorter. You have to continuously have things, youth with high IQ. But IQ alone is not enough. The book we are describing in detail. You have to have EQ, emotional quotient, sympathy, compassion, problem solving, conflict solving. You need community leaders like Dubesa. What he has been doing. Here is a doctor who came from Guyana, helping Canada and Guyana, not alone in the domain space of medical science, but also he helps us as spiritual mind. In 1974, when I was looking at the radio, we used to get his lectures on Saturday morning, and that was the only connection to me from Hinduism, lectures at that time. That was in 74. So here is a person who married science and spirituality, and he's a treasure for Canada. We need more Dubes in this world to reduce Ukraine problem, reduce some other challenges, some challenges in streets. You need spiritual leaders. Spiritual leaders with science, because scientific mind gives you what you need outside, but inside for your soul, you need the spiritual mind to guide you. But you talk about peace. Peace is a transaction. It happens after a war. You talk about peace. You have League of Nations, you have United Nations, but it doesn't stop Ukraine or anything else. If we want to have continued peace, bliss, without any distraction, you need spiritually minded leaders to work with you. Not alone Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, but you need people like Dr. Dubey and spiritual leaders and community leaders. You have to think you are not alone, but along with you, community to the country. We call Canada is a great God's country, but what we also need is continuously keep it with per capita standard of living. Also, to keep the peace, we have to make sure, kindly tell your children, not alone, IQ, but EQ. Work with communities, go to old age homes, go to hospitals, give some time. Also, go to temples, go to mandirs, wherever you go, place of worship. Meet Gurujis and get that value. So together, we will seek for bliss. But what I want to say is, science and spirituality together can give you peace, peace to bliss. But if you want to know more in detail, get a copy of the book, read it, and tell a lot more people. What is important is the book that has come through Sringeri and Babs, all of you get a copy of the book and make sure your children read it and share the books with other people so more people understand spirituality and science to make this great world a peaceful world to all of us to enjoy the prosperity together with peace. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmanan. At this time, I also want to welcome Honorable Minister Nina Tangri. Let's move on with the program. At this point in time, I would love to introduce Bhadreshdas Swamiji, the principal co-author of this book, who is, as Dr. Lakshmanan said, he is right now in Australia, but he has been kind enough to send the message through a video, which you will see in a minute. But before that, let me introduce Bhadreshdas Swamiji. Maho Mahabhadhyaya Bhadreshdas Swami is an ordained Swami of Babs Swaminarayan Sastha and currently serves as the head of the Babs Research Institute in New Delhi. He is the author of the Swaminarayan Bhashya, an original and comprehensive Sanskrit commentary of the Parsthantre that establishes the Akshar Purushottam Darshan as an independent philosophical school of Hinduism. He holds a PhD in Sanskrit and has been honored with Doctor of Literature D.Lit from Kalidas Sanskrit University, as well as DSc and D.Lit from IIT Kharagpur. He has got several masters in Sanskrit, not one, not two, not three, 5 masters in Sanskrit. Please start the video.
ॐ स्वामिनारायण साक्षादक्षरपुरुषोत्तमः सर्वेभ्यः परमां शान्तिम् आनन्दं सुखमर्पयेत् तनोतु सकले विश्वे परमानन्दमङ्गलम् स्वामिनारायण साक्षादक्षरपुरुषोत्तमः अक्षरमहं पुरुषोत्तमदासोऽस्मि। ॐ सर्वेभ्यो नमो नमः. Today it is a moment of great joy that on the auspicious occasion of Maharudram, a highly spiritual Vedic festival, and at the highly spiritual place, Sringeri Peetham, are launching the book titled Experiencing Peace and Prosperity Through Spirituality and Science. I firmly believe that this success is solely due to the divine grace of Bhagavan Swami Narayan, Ma Shardamba, Guru Hari Pramukh Swami Maharaj, Guru Hari Mahanta Swami Maharaj, and Jagatguru Shankaracharya, Shri Shri Bharti Tirtha Mahaswami Ji, and Jagatguru Shri Shri Vidushekhar Bharti Mahaswami Ji. This book has not just been a matter of writing, rather it has been a delightful spiritual journey of 2 years with renowned scientist Mr. Lucky Lakshman Ji, my friend, and equally distinguished and pure-hearted my friend Ji. We live in the era where understanding the relationship between spirituality and science has become essential. Our connections have extended beyond our families to include those of the larger world. We are even exploring life on other planets, signifying our desire to extend our relationships even further. Our existence now extends from our homes to cosmos. Today's human beings seeing themselves as part of the universe. The ancient Indian scriptures often mention Pindeshu Brahmandeshu, Pindeshu Brahmandeshu, likening the individual self to the cosmos. The microcosm of humankind is reflected in the macrocosm of universe and vice versa. For this reason, Lakshmanji and I wanted to write a book that would explain this relationship between spirituality and science. With this idea in mind, Mr. Lucky Lakshmanji and I spent a long time discussions in person and also over video and telephonic calls. And gradually, this book took shape. Interestingly, while we were writing the book, we didn't know that the word appearing on the cover page today would become the title of the book. I still remember the grand day of the Murti Pratishtha at Akshardham in Robbinsville, New Jersey, when the title experience took place for this book. This title is not the result of our intellectual or mental exercise, but is the result of the solid connection between spirituality and science, which is very much oth-prot in Akshardham. And Akshardham also is not just a cultural campus, but rather a reflection of Sri Pramukh Swamiji Maharaj and Mahanta Swamiji Maharaj's experientific attitude. Experience is an experience. It's my experience, your experience, everyone's experience. It is an experience that celebrates the solidarity between spirituality and science. The term experience captures the essence of spirituality in its prefix spiri and the domain of science in its suffix ens. Experience is an attitude, It's about how our approach to spirituality and science influences our existence. Experience signifies a mindset that sees spirituality and science as deeply interconnected. Many examples testify to the effectiveness of such an integration. However, doesn't it seem peculiar that subjects like science, mathematics, psychology, theology, and philosophy are taught in separate departments and applied in different ways in universities or educational settings? Yet, when real life events unfold, these disciplines, science, mathematics, psychology, and others, offer converge and deliver outcomes together. Adopting an integrative approach to these disciplines brings us numerous benefits. We live in incredible times. Today, humanity swings like a pendulum between the joys and sorrows of life. Indeed, science and technology have delivered beyond what we could have imagined, and all within an incredibly short period of time. We have made incredible progress, and there is no turning back now. It's impossible. We all feel that though science has propelled our development, it has not reduced the challenges we face. Before we can fully adapt to the stream of inventions aimed at the making our lives easier, new innovations are already at our doorstep. We find them in our hands, becoming a part of our lives before we fully understand their benefits and drawbacks. In times like these, the experience approach proves invaluable for making our lives prosperous and peaceful. Certainly, Mr. Lucky Lakshmanji and Mr. Kalyan Sundaramji must have presented or will present the contents of this book to you. Hence, there is no need for me to say anything further on that subject. However, I do want to express that any contribution I have made to this book is all because of the encouragement of my gurus, Pramukh Swami Maharaj and Mahant Swami Maharaj. They inspired me to understand the greatness of Vedic Sanatan Dharma. They encouraged me to deeply study the glorious scriptures of Bharatiya Sanskriti. Truly, I am very much pleased with the launching of this book today. Today I remember my colleague Swami Aksharanandas ji, who supported us in this project. I also congratulate the publishing house, Talwell Publications, for the excellent publication of this book. Once again, I congratulate Mr. Lucky Lakshmanji and Mr. Kalyan Sundaramji for being companions on this wonderful spiritual journey. At last, I pray at the holy feet of Bhagavan Swaminarayan, Ma Shardamba, and Guru Hari Shri Mahant Swami Maharaj that the authors and readers of this book attain peace and prosperity in their lives. Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi.
Thanks to Bhadreshdas Swamiji for his wisdom and kind words. Now I invite Pujya Kunsagar Swamiji, the head of BAPS Toronto and one of the prime champions of this book project, to say a few words. Kunsagar Swamiji.
गुणातीतोऽक्षरं ब्रह्म भगवान् पुरुषोत्तमः जनो जानन्निदं सत्यं मुच्यते भवबन्धनात्। श्री स्वामीनारायण भगवान की जय। अक्षर पुरुषोत्तम महाराज की जय। गुरु हरि प्रमुख स्वामी महाराज की जय। गुरु हरि महंत स्वामी महाराज की जय। In the divine presence of Bhagavan Swaminarayan and in the equally divine presence of my Gurudev Pramukh Swamiji and Mahan Swami Maharaj, we are present in this holy place. So the divine presence of Ma Shardamba and Jagat Guru Shankaracharya Shri Shri Bharati Tirth Mahaswamiji and Jagat Guru Shri Vidushekhara Bhartiji. And in the most revered presence of honored guests, respected authors, and distinguished community members. It is a profound honor to be here present in this inaugural presentation of the book Experience, Experiencing Peace and Prosperity Through Science and Spirituality. I was fortunate to be present today in the Maharudram in the morning hours, and it is a perfect backdrop for a book that beautifully blends spirituality and science. I remember that Dr. Lakshmananji shared the day in the June to 2022. It was Bhadreshdas Swami who was just like he landed from the stage down there, and he held Lakshmananji's hand saying that let's meet for a while. And he said, wait some time, we'll come together. And they went on the corner that side, and they just talked. They came back, and they both were smiling, but they were not sharing anything with us because we would not have understood that time what is in their mind. But now I see that this book is out, and this is that place where the seeds were sown, right? So this is that real holy place. And I would definitely say that a book like this, where there is a blend of spirituality and science, would only occur where there is spirituality. Just imagine this thing. A scientist who may be believing in God or not, maybe, we don't know, but they will never think of something like this or a work upon blending two things. But someone who is spiritually inclined, they can only bring this kind of work together. Bhadreshdas Swami, I know him from very long time. Since 1990s, I know him. And he became sadhu when he was 14 only, in the year 1981. But since then, I have seen him studying Sanskrit and philosophical things, and he wrote a thesis, a commentary on Prasthantrayi. And Dr. Lakshmananji here is a scientist by profession, but he is a chairman of Sringeri, this foundation here. And because he is inclined spiritually, his profession as a scientist has a meaning now. And then only they can think of writing something like this. So I definitely wanted to emphasize this, that this is that place where all that began, that small seed was sown here, and now we see the fruits coming out, and the book is with us. And as we know, in the world today, it is marked by divisions and conflicts. And Experience, this book, offers a beacon of hope It intertwined the ancient wisdom of spirituality with the advancements of modern science, and demonstrating that these two paths are not mutually exclusive but are in fact deeply interconnected. By integrating these perspectives, the book provides valuable insights to foster peace and prosperity within ourselves and our communities. And this work is done by this remarkable, dedicated volunteers and their efforts, as mentioned by Dr. Lakshmanan. Yes, Kalyan Sundaramji. He has been in Canada serving this community for past many years. And his work, definitely, as mentioned by Dr. Lakshmananji, that he's always been a dedicated person, right? So we will definitely, I would like to thank him for this. And Dr. Lakshmananji, as we all know, is a distinguished scientist and community leader and has brought immense depth to this book. And Dr. Lakshmananji, you have been fortunate to collaborate with Mahamahopadhyaya Bhadreshdas Swamiji, as you mentioned that you also feel that privilege. For this book, and you say that the word synergy and experience will be used same way, but the synergy that brought between you two is also to be mentioned here today. And finally, I would like to express my deepest gratitude for Mahamahopadhyaya Bhadreshdas Swamiji. As I said that, Swami, you know, I am not the right person to speak in this occasion because I haven't done anything in a way, because they brought the thoughts, they came together and they started writing, and we are mere intermediate people who were just organizing certain things here and there. But he said, no, you have to go and speak. If Dr. Lakshmanan wants you to speak, you should speak. I said, okay, while you are saying this, I will do that, but I'm not the right person in a way. But as I said that Bhadresh Swamiji, he studied this much, and as you know, he is a pioneering scholar, the author of Swaminarayan Bhashyam, a Sanskrit commentary on the Prasthantrayi, which establishes the Akshar Purushottam Darshan as an independent philosophical school of Hinduism. As the head of BAPS Swaminarayan Research Institute in New Delhi, Bhadresh Swami has dedicated his life to advancing spiritual knowledge. It is Bhadresh Swami who gifted us the very term experience, as mentioned by Dr. Lakshmanan, while he was seated in the opening ceremony or the Murti consecration celebration happening in Robbinsville, Akshardham on the 8th of October. At that time, yes, God and Guru inspired him with this word, conjuncting two words, spirituality and science, and give this very good terms called experience. And mainly experience is not merely a book, but a transformative blueprint for creating a better world. Mahan Sai Maharaj, when he was asked to bless this book, he wrote something, and that's on the first page of the book. He says, if it's for the prosperity and ultimate peace of all, then science too is spirituality. Experience is a festival of life, celebrate. That's what he has written, his blessings are such. So as we celebrate this launch, I see it that this is not mere like launching of experience, but as we are all swimming in the sea of this technology around all of us, experience is the attitude, as mentioned by Bhadresh Swami as well, that we need to learn and develop in our lives. This attitude will help us to blend science with spirituality and live happily as family, community, country, and the world in an otherwise very challenging world. Thank you, and congratulations again to the authors, the organizers, and all of you for being here today. Together, let us carry forward experiences, wisdom, and work towards a more harmonious and enlightened future. Congratulations to everyone involved, and may this book inspire many for for years to come. Shri Shanti, 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 Jai Swaminarayan.
Thank you, Swamiji. Now I request Consul General Siddharthanath Ji, Minister Nina Tangri Ji, and Chandra Arya Ji, Dr. Lakshmanan, Sri Naresh Rai Patel Ji, and Dr. Parambat and Mr. Kalyan Sundaram to come up to the stage, please. I introduce and invite Consul General Siddharthanath Ji to speak. Siddharthanath is a career diplomat who joined the Indian Foreign Service in 2003. He has been posted in the Embassy of India in Beijing from 2005 to 2009 and the Permanent Mission of India to the Conference of Disarmament in Geneva from 2013 to 2016. Prior to his appointment as Consul General of India in Toronto, he served as India's Deputy High Commissioner in Singapore from 2020 June to 2023. At headquarters in New Delhi, he has served in the United Nations Political Division in 2005 as a desk officer for Afghanistan and Iran in 2009 to 2011, and the National Security Council Secretariat in New Delhi from 2011 to 2013. He served as the director in the Internal Finance Division of the Ministry of External Affairs and also in the Prime Minister's office in New Delhi from 2017 to 2020. He has studied economics at the Delhi School of Economics in India and Northwestern University in the US. Above all this, Mr. Siddharthanath Ji is a very kind, interacting person. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chokalingam, Honorable Member of Parliament, Honorable Minister, distinguished members, including so many pillars of the Indo-Canadian community here in Toronto and the GTA. It's such an honor and privilege for me to be here. First of all, it's of course wonderful to be back at SVBF. The Sringeri Vidya Bharati Foundation has been doing such yeoman service in keeping the community connected to its cultural and spiritual roots, and it's always an honor for me to be back here. But of course, it's on this auspicious occasion, and there could perhaps be no better, more auspicious day for the release of this book. So we had the very successful Maharudram in the morning, but it's such a delight to be here. Dr. Lakshmanan has, apart from his scientific accomplishments, which are exemplary, he's also, of course, recipient of the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award, recipient of the Order of Canada, but above all else, his contribution to the community, quite apart from his professional accomplishments, of course, the Indo-Canadian community, but the broader community here in general, has been so remarkable and something that we all greatly admire. And And given that background, given his professional expertise, given his spiritual background, I think there can be no better co-author for this book. I admit I have only skimmed through the book yet when it was not yet published. I've only seen an initial draft, but there was so much even in those few minutes to learn. There was so much that I learned when he spoke today, when the Swamiji spoke today. As the Swamiji was mentioning, he thought that it was not for him to speak about the book. Then I feel, of course, even more presumptuous to be standing here on this occasion. But if you allow me, I'll just make a couple of points. One is that, as has been said, ancient India was rich not only for the spiritual traditions, but also for the scientific traditions and the accomplishments, some of which only now we are beginning to learn about. And it is that, over the history of our civilization, science and spirituality were not seen to be in contradiction, but very much seen to be reinforcing each other, part of the very active culture of inquiry and debate and examination and self-examination. And in that context, what I found most remarkable about the book was that it's not purely a philosophical treatise, but it's also a practical guide to how we can all live our world, live our lives better, and how we can all make the world a better place. And for that alone, it is worth its weight in gold. I'd just like to wish the authors and co-authors, Dr. Kalyan Sundaram as well, all the very best. Congratulations for this, and on behalf of the Consulate General of India, heartiest congratulations on this great accomplishment. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddharth Nathji. That's very kind. Now, I invite Minister Neena Tangri to address the audience. The Honorable Neena Tangri is a member of Provincial Parliament of Ontario, representing the riding of Streetsville, and she is the Associate Minister of Small Business. In March 2023, she was Associate Minister of Housing, and in 2021, she served as a Minister of Small Business and Red Tape Reduction. In June 2019, she was appointed Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade. She has also chaired the Standing Committee on Social Policy and served as the member of the Standing Committee on Justice Policy, the Standing Committee on Government Agencies, and the Standing Committees on Public Accounts. Professionally, Ms. Tangri is an entrepreneur and small business owner with over 35 years of experience in insurance and finance. Until her election to the Ontario's 42nd Parliament, she was a CEO of Tangri Insurance and Finance Group and President of the Tangri BMT Insurance Broker. She also has served as a Vice Chair for Credit Valley Hospital. Ms. Neena Tangri.
Good evening, everyone. Namaskar. It is my true honor and pleasure to join each and every one of you today. Dr. Lakshmanan, when I was invited to this, I want to thank you first for including me in this book launch. But when I first, saw what was happening, I said, well, I know that Dr. Lakshmanan is such a learned person. But then when I saw there were three very competent, very well-renowned people putting this book together, I realized that this is something very, very special for each and every one of us. But the interesting thing is when you read about peace and prosperity through spirituality and science, there's one thing you certainly don't think of, and that's politicians. So I'm taking all of that together, and I'm saying, how important is that for each and every one of us as an individual to think of peace, prosperity, but it's also taking it that so important in each and every one of our lives is our spirituality. But it also needs to be backed up with fact, and that's science. So when I thought about this book and each and every part of it that's being put together, I have not read any of it yet, so I'm really looking forward to it. I also think about how important it was, not just as an individual to read this book, but hopefully make sure that it gets out to a larger community, maybe as part of the curriculum in our schools in Ontario. There is so much that we can learn from our history and our past, but there's also so many amazing and good things still to come. But it's the pathway, the way that we take that, how do we utilize what we know and make it for the good for everybody? And as politicians, we're elected by you. You are the ones that have put your faith in each and every one of us to do what's right. And we don't always get it right, but we acknowledge that and we move forward. But with the guidance of great people like Dr. Lakshmanan and each and every one of you, and I look in this room and all of the distinguished people here, listening to the Consul General just now and some of the words and the inspiring words that he gives us always, I learned so much. And our Member of Parliament, who's spoken out so eloquently in the House of Commons, protecting communities, protecting our community, that is just so important. So we are there as a voice. We are there as a voice of the collective to ensure that the movements, what we're doing as we go forward, supports our communities, all of communities, and leaves nobody behind. So I thank you. I thank you for that honor. I thank you for that privilege. And I want to thank each and every one of you for including me today into what I think is going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience for each and every one of us as we re-experience and understand and the depth that it can take each and every one of you. So thank you again to all of you. I'm joined here with my husband, so I'm just going to ask you to join me as I present a scroll on behalf of the Government of Ontario. I do bring greetings from Premier Doug Ford. He couldn't join us today. I saw him just before coming here, and I was at the BAPS Charity Walk this morning, and now I'm here again, both in his riding. So I said, Premier, I'm spending more time in your riding today than you are. So he does send greetings. He did ask me to say thank you to you. He does know Dr. Lakshmanan and has nothing but wonderful things to say and appreciates the great work that he does and each and every one of you. So thank you again. Lovely to see you all. Namaskar.
Thank you, Neena ji. Thank you for the assurance and your self-wish to bring it into the curriculum. I think that's fantastic. Now I invite our own MP Arya ji. Mr. Chandra Arya is a Member of Parliament representing the riding of Nepean. He holds a bachelor's degree in engineering and a master's degree in business administration. Before entering politics, he was an executive in the high-tech sector. He lives in Nepean with his wife, Sangeeta, who worked at the Ottawa Catholic School Board. As a Member of Parliament, he has served on the Standing Committee on International Trade that studies and reports on such matters such as international trade policy and global trade and investment environment. Mr. Arya is also a passionate and vocal defender of Hinduism in Canada against instances of intolerance. Honorable Ms. Chandra Arya.
Namaskar. It's a great pleasure to be back here at SVBF for this momentous occasion, releasing the book Experience. The authors, especially Dr. Lakshmanan, has already spoken about it. For me, the importance of this book is this. We know that the science and technology is exploding so much that from a mission being planned to Mars to the artificial intelligence, things are changing a lot. And that it has brought a lot of prosperity to the day-to-day lives of the people across the world. But it is also contributing to the conflicts around the world. While the science and technology is exploding, the spirituality side is decreasing in influence in the society. Let me take one concrete example. In the recent Canadian census, 37% of Canadians said they're atheists, that they don't believe in God. 37% atheists. This atheists I'm talking, they're different from the Gnostic under the Hindu Dharma. Let's not go the difference between Gnostic and atheist, but the fact is that 37% Canadians today are not believing in God, and that number is growing. It's okay. In Canada, whether you believe in God or not, we all have the same rights and freedom. But what I'm worried about is the youth, the children in those households. 37%, 1 in 3 Canadian families. I'm worried about the youth and children in the households growing up in vacuum without the support, the safety net of spirituality. And what is happening to those young minds now? There's a vacuum in there. There's a vacuum. I'm glad this book is addressing the youth and young Canadians and the youth of the world too. But focusing on Canadians, there is a vacuum in the minds of young Canadians today, 1/3 of Canadian population. And that is getting filled, what some people say, wokeism. Because when they don't have anything to lean on, anything to believe in, not finding a shoulder on which to cry on, without the guidance or the presence of the spiritual leaders, the gurus, there is a big problem we have, and that problem is growing. And that, I hope, is the vacuum that this book fills in. The science and spirituality. And I hope it is not just for young Canadians, but it should be there for all the youth across the world, because this is a worldwide problem. As a politician, I have to use my 2 minutes to speak on the thing I'm passionate about the issues of Hindu Canadians. And let me not go into the issues that we are facing, that we all know. All I want is that to impress upon you, please motivate, encourage young Canadians, young Hindu Canadians, to take much more active interest in the public service. We need more Hindu Canadians at all levels of the government, whether the school board trustee or the municipal council or the member of provincial parliament or the member of parliament. And I don't mind which political party or which political ideology the young Hindu Canadians associate themselves with. All I need is that more Hindu Canadians get involved. Only then we can find the leaders of all political parties and at all levels of the government can give serious thoughts, serious concerns. They can listen to the concerns of the community and takes action to address them. Once again, I thank Dr. Lakshmanan, Dr. Kalyan Sundaram, and Bhadreshdas Swami ji for writing this book and inviting me here for this auspicious of the launching of this book. Dhanyavad.
when you get to read the book, you will learn more about the mental health issues. So we have a mental health minister in Ontario, Mr. Tibello. He wants to be here very much, but unfortunately he has to be on duty in the country. But his thoughts are with us. He has sent his associate, Sarah, to come and read his thoughts. Sarah, please come, read the thoughts.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Sarah Capitola, and I'm here on behalf of Michael Tibolo, the Associate Minister of Mental Health and Addictions for the province of Ontario. I am honored to acknowledge the release of the book Experience, a remarkable exploration of the interconnection between science and spirituality. I commend this significant contribution to fostering a deeper understanding of both spirituality and science. My heartfelt congratulations to all those involved in bringing this important work to life, and to SVBF Canada for its dedication to cultural and community engagement. Congratulations and thank you.
It's time for the formal release of the book. I invite SVBF children, Pranav Velanki, Sindhuja Velanki, Ananya, Uttara, and Utpala to come and hand over the copies of the book to the guests on stage. The age of experience has just begun. Let's all give authors a very big hand. Now, may I request Mr. Naresh Rai Patel from BAPS to talk about the upcoming book release event at BAPS.
As Professor Chakalingam said, I'm not here to make any scholarly observations on the book, so rest assured. But I can't help it but make a comment about earlier CG. Mr. Siddharth Narji spoke that this is a practical guide. So please use it every day. Don't just read once and put it aside, and share the wisdom from the book. Having said that, similar event, such event of this book launch event will be launched or will be organized at BAPS Swaminarayan Mandir, Sunday on September 22nd at 4 o'clock. please join us. It's a hearty invitation for all of you to join with us. An important feature is Mahamahopadhyay Bhadreshdas Swami ji, who happens to be on the video. You will get to hear him in person and all the things and all the discussion, what thinking was behind it, and he'll share with us too. And since the minister is here, and Honorable Minister made an excellent suggestion of incorporating this experience attitude into curriculum, your government can do it. Please ask Premier to and Minister of Education to do so, because as earlier a Member of Parliament Aryaji said, Wokism is basically on the name of Wokism. Atheism is promoting, and our youth are catching on it. So we have to bring them back into values-centric life, and this is the only way we can happen. So please make it as a part of educational curriculum. This is our request on behalf of the community. So please again join us on September 22nd, Sunday at BAPS Swaminarayan Mandir, where Pujya Bhadreshdas Swami ji will also present his observation on the book too. Thank you. 4 o'clock, 4 to 5:30, please. Thank you.
It's our pleasure and honor to honor the dignitaries on behalf of SVBF Canada.
श्रीमत्परमहंसेत्यादि समस्त बिरुदावली विराजमान परम पूज्य जगद्गुरु श्री श्री भारती तीर्थ महास्वामिनां तत्करकमल संजात श्रीमज्जगद्गुरु श्री श्री विधुशेखर भारती महास्वामिभिश्च अनुगृहीतेन प्रसादेन सकल सर्वाभीष्टता सिद्धिरस्तु। ओम काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः सज्जनाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सदनाः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः शीते वाते पुनर्निवेत्याः क्षेमो वै राष्ट्रस्य शीतो वातः क्षेममेवावरुन्धे।
The book release is not complete. If you have any questions to the two authors who are here on stage, it's time for you to ask the questions that you might want to ask. Kalyan is here. Huh? Questions in the middle. Okay. Say 1 or 2 words. Wait. I don't see any questions from the floor. Now I request our trustee, Dr. Parambat, to conclude the word of thanks.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Pujya Swaminarayan Swamijis, all the dignitaries who are on the stage, and also in the many dignitaries in the audience. Thank you very much for coming today and gracing this very special occasion, which is a combination of the two great institutions, the Sringeri Vidya Bharati Foundation, Canada, and BAPS organization, just our neighbor. And this is probably the first time such organizations are coming together. And thank you all very much. And we also had the pleasure of having great Hindu Sanatana Dharma leaders here with Dr. Dubey and Chandra Arya, the fighter for Hinduism in the political arena, and all the dignitaries here, Minister Tangri, and who else? I missed quite a few people. So thank you all. Thank you all for coming. And thanks to all the SVBF volunteers for making this function happen. And in the morning we had Maharudram, and now right now in another 10 minutes we are starting with the more prayers for Lord Shiva, and then by around 5:30 we are starting Kumkumachana for Sharadamba. So everyone, please come and join us in the temple. Once again, thanks everyone for coming and making this a great event. Thank you.